Okay, cool. That's going there. Streaming, it says we're going. We'll see. Let's get back in this puppy here. Restart the stream that got pulled up. Okay, we are live. Gotta send a picture of me wearing that. Okay, welcome to the stream, everybody. Let's do some flying today. What do you say? Let's get over this ocean. Let's get done with these remote, low number of things to look at, water crossings that we have to deal with. So we're not going to be in the 160. I think the 225 might be fixed, honestly. But I don't want to risk that yet. Kind of thinking A-star, because I can do synthetic vision with it. And the big thing, or I don't know about synthetic vision, maybe. Let's see what range looks like on this. I think we have enough range with it. Fuel and payload, manage fuel. Can't waste too much time here. Starting over in the Faroes. Yep, that puts us in Iceland. I say we do a 125, honestly. The easiest. It still leaves some of our hitters for things coming up. This is also a fast helicopter. I like that livery. This is also a fast helicopter, which is a big thing. I know they have the Ellie Mass livery, which may go for that one. If I can find it. There we go. This is such a good looking helicopter right here. I need... Yeah. So we do an A-star. No autopilot, but this does leave hitters for us, like the Cowan-Sim S76, the Black Hawk, the Dolphin, the 145, and the 225 if it works. And that leaves us able to mess with those. I don't know why it changed our range thing on us there. But we do have farther. And that says departure. Whoop, 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 whoop. Definitely not going up to the north side. I say we just kind of... This looks like our shortest. What do these airports look like? Not really an airport. Yeah, so we go to this one up here that has the instrument capability. Even though that's just as close there, if not slightly closer, I think we'll be better off here. Set arrival. I'm gonna have some shit to go through there. Whatever. Gotta happen. Gotta happen. Oh. God dang it. Oh, we are instrument today. This is going to suck. Oh, this is going to suck. 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 Oh my god. Okay. There's no pre-flight on the outside of this one. We're going to assume that we have a bit of a ceiling here. Ugh. Great. Great, great, great. What am I getting myself into here? Panel options. As nice as it gets, please. Anti-collision lights. Fuel pump. Turn that on. Get rid of you. If we die alone. Avionics. Good thing is this thing also gets high. And we're definitely going to make sure all of our stuff is set with the GPS before we take off. Which also funny, I'm in the middle of doing instrument stuff in real life. So this will be nice. This will be good. This will be enjoyable. We're just at like a mile visibility. What's the airport code that we're going to? Looks like it may clear up. And then it doesn't. Bravo India Hotel, November. Recenter. Okay, that's more or less set there. I'm going to adjust this light a little bit to give my VR a better thing to latch on to. Oh, not looking forward to this. Fuel topped off. Twist grip spun up. Horn is on. The dogs are barking. And, landing lights on. Why not? I don't know why this is on. Me taking off on the airport right now on the stream. This is going to be miserable. This is going to be miserable. There we go. Okay. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Today we are in deep instrument conditions. I did not do that. Heading that we're being going is like a 308 heading. And yeah. Okay, so runway's over here. Oh boy. This is masochist. This is masochism. Let's go. Okay, I'm heading the wrong direction right now, I'm aware, but I'm going to be using runway as we are taking off below minimums. Let's go all the way down. Can't even see the end of the runway. Who invented weather like this? The crazy thing, this is evening weather too. This isn't like morning fog here at the islands. This is like afternoon weather here. Yep. Okay, let's do it. Faroe Islands helicopter 420 Foxtrot, regretting this, departing runway 3 something. Not happy about it. Faroe Islands. Okay, we're going to build up some speed. We're going to send it to the end of this runway while staying within sight of the runway. I have no idea how thick this cloud layer is. But we're going to stay down here until we hit the end. And we're going to start a relatively aggressive climb out. There is a mountain up ahead of us. We have synthetic vision on. There are the hangars, good lord. 1,000 feet from the end of the runway. We're at 100 something knots now. Not going to be looking at stream much while we are in soup like this. By the end, we got to climb. Climbing at 1,000 feet per minute, 126 knots forward. I can trim up a little bit. It's just soup outside. It is just soup. There are clouds breaking above us. That's good. If I can break out, we're happy. It's going to be a higher breakout. It's just a little pocket that we're coming through. Goodness, this is miserable. I'm going to start making our turn to be more on course now that we are clear of a lot of our mountain areas around us. Oh, look. There's one of the mountains that we're flying over. This is definitely not a good departure path, just for anybody wondering. You want to be like 2,000 feet over mountains for instrument stuffs. There's a downdraft that we just messing with there. I want to keep this sort of speed going forward. Oof. Big clouds, a lot of climbing to do. Not excited, not enthused. So y'all please keep bearing with me. We're going to work on climbing up to like 8,000 feet or something. So even if we do punch a cloud every once in a while, it's just punching a cloud every once in a while. It's not like it's continuously flying through this. Yeah, we're leaving the Faroe Islands, and it's not good. It's not good, Valeska. But we're working on climbing out of it. We're at 4,500 feet now. Searching for above. Is that 10,000 feet? Is that 7,000 feet? I don't know. Don't know. But we're over the ocean, and we're doing this for the next 2 hours. Which it's silly, because like this is exactly what I'm actually training right now in real life. Doing instrument stuff. Oh my goodness. What a wild breakthrough there. Okay, cool. I can de-stress slightly. Holy mess. What the heck? And that was a well under minimums, well below minimums departure for anybody wondering. We're gonna punch this cloud. Relatively thin. Okay, cool. Ooh. One of the hard parts done. Got some messages here. To reply to your thing, yes, I'm streaming. KOTA 49. Unfamiliar. Hard to tell, comma, they could be going anywhere. They're so far out. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome everybody to the stream. We just took off from the Faroe Islands in the worst takeoff conditions that I've ever taken off in. Other than one time I gave myself conditions like that just to see how hard it was to fly in fog, and I subsequently stuffed it into the ground. Now that I have a general idea of what I'm doing from real life training, not as bad. Still depressingly miserable though. I am a VFR pilot through and through, that is for sure. I'm going to go ahead and give us a direct on here also, just so we know. Direct to 240 miles. Great, we got 2 hours of this, guys. Hopefully less than 2 hours because we have 2 hours of fuel. But also all depends on what my collective and power usage looks like. Now that we're up at a cruising altitude, for now I can kind of let off the power. We were getting up and out because, as you can tell, it was not nice getting out of that. And if anybody here has anything to talk about, since we don't have much to look at, it's a water crossing day. It's a miserable, miserable, miserable water crossing day. Yeah, let me know. We're here for it. Oh, another news also. Not going to New York this weekend. Told Valeska already. I know I kind of mentioned to you guys there's a chance of me getting to help ferry an Airbus H125 up to New York City. Fell through with their insurance stuff because it was with a production, and production stuff is picky stuff. So, not my circus, not my clown. Not going to try to honk anybody's nose. Hello, Ryan D. Walker from Northern Ireland. We just kind of left your area. We're leaving the Faroe Islands now, heading up to Iceland. So we were just kind of, we didn't really touch Ireland. We did UK to Scotland because we're kind of all business on this series. And as you can see, this is day 75 of the series. And this is our second year of doing it, because I started it last summer, work picked up, and then also real flight training makes me not want to be in the sim as much. So, yeah, it's taking longer. I'm ready to be over with stuff. I wanted to bounce around more through the UK and Ireland and Europe and everything, but here we are abandoning Europe as quickly as we can. But thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello. But also do stick around because in other episodes or in other series, I'll say, we also have a medical roleplay series that I'll kind of do, or like VIP corporate transport series that we'll kind of roleplay through. We'll do some other stuff like that, and we do end up trying to fly a whole bunch of different places and different things. So we could always be over in your area in one of ours. And if you give us some landmarks to go check out, we'll definitely be flying around those and exploring. Don't think I've done any Irish flying yet, actually. I've done some UK flying outside of this series. I've done some UK flying. When I say UK, I mean Britain. And then Scottish from just this past episode, getting up to the Faroes. But love Ireland, love Scotland, great area out there, great people. So this is like what airplane pilots do all the time. They just kind of like get up and sit there. I'll continually be baffled by... It just kind of seems like management, you know? It doesn't really seem like we're flying. It just seems like a management position. You just fly helicopters in the sim at the moment, setting up the 145 and the Talgshanger Dolphin. Both quality helicopters. The Talgshanger stuff's great. The high performance group, I was actually about to do the 145 before I chose to do this one. But I didn't want to give myself the option of the autopilot. The high performance group 145 and 160 are the only autopilots that work for me, which if you look at the camera on the top of the screen there, my controls are not self-centering. So when I let go of this, we go one way or the other. It just kind of falls. So I have to be very particular with autopilot-y type things where I just kind of have to keep one hand really, really still and keep the cyclic as good as it can be. But I wanted to hand fly this, and then I'm kind of glad that I did, because it was, even though it sucked, if you want to scroll back 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it was, to taking off, we took off with a no visibility day, the type of landing where like airplanes would be like, cool, we're going to look for an alternate. It was that sort of bad weather. Yeah, kind of glad I did it, hand flying. But the Hype 145 is great. I like the Talix Hanger stuff a little bit better. I think one of the Hype dudes quit working for Hype or something, so a lot of their stuff is going to get older and older without updates for things. But the Talix Hanger Dolphin's great. I love it. All their versions of it are really, really solid. Yeah, I'm in the Cowan Sim 125 at the moment. Main reason for that is I wanted the screen that had synthetic vision, because we were taking off in bad conditions and flying in very bad conditions eventually when we get up here. So it was more of a strategic thing just to give myself a better instrument suite. As in real life, I'm flying Robinson stuff and doing instrument training in a Robinson. It's not directly crossover as far as my gauge scans and everything, so it's just easier to have my big screen right there and the Garmin stuff I'm familiar with. Just the factory 125 is good, but also Cowan Sim, they give you so many good liveries, like the Ellie Mast helicopter, which I love. I love watching their videos on Instagram too. Oh, they got new developers? I know I had seen it a while back, but even though like I have a Discord for the channel here, I check it like once a day. Discord's slightly younger than my generation, mid-30s. So it's just not part of my mental checking process on stuff. Everybody's like, oh, check the Discord. It's like, I did, but I don't know. Like, I search one thing and 50 million things come up, and I don't want to process through all that. Like, it's not for me. I have one. I know how to use it enough, but yeah, I'm glad they got developers fixed. What I do want to do also, because I'm pretty sure they had a hand in it because they're kind of the Airbus experts. I need to check to see if they fixed the factory installed in the game, the Airbus H225. It has that really, really bad startup issue when you're doing it yourself. And I don't know if it's just because I have a mapping thing messed up, because I have a governor switch on my collective, which is with the for Robinsons basically. But also, even though a lot of these helicopters don't have governor switches, even though it's not applicable, like, it still maps weird to these things, and it makes them do non-normal things, which sucks. So when I start up the 225, First of all, the startup thing says when you crank it, you go to start, or you go to run. You don't put it in idle, which doesn't sound right to me. But then when you start, it over torques, and even though I have like my throttle down on here in case there's something crossing over to it, I've got the throttles turned down on the overhead because it's just a flight position sensor because it's a FADEC. The engines will spin up to like 200% torque and over rev, and then you have to like smash the collective up to over torque it even more, and it will droop the rotors enough to establish them into what their actual speed is supposed to be, and then it stabilizes. But it's annoying because part of my series here is like I want to start everything from cold and dark and finish, and it's made it where I can't fly the 225 recently, and it kind of sucks here because it's a good long distance fast speed cruiser, and I'm doing all the big water crossing stuff right now, so I'm near 50 and have used most things. But yes, I agree, far too much to check everything. My phone is pinging every few minutes. I have notifications so turned off on everything. I mean, I get notifications for text and emails and calls. And then like a YouTube channel where I would have notifications turned on for them. But other than that, yeah, nobody. I do not notification for anybody. It's not worth it. It's not worth me having a million things, having to sort through things, and if there's 50 notifications and one of them's important, I'll either mass swipe all of them away, or, it's just lost in the mess of everything. It's not worth it. Randy, welcome back, dude. Good to see you again. Went from not seeing you for a year and a half to seeing you twice in a week. But yeah, Ryan, do you fly in real life, or are you just a simulator enthusiast? Which, since you're new here, Ryan, I'll kind of give you an update. Or not an update, a breakdown. I've always been a helicopter guy. And watching all the videos and interviews and stuff, everybody says, hey, learning how to hover is really, really hard. It can take you like 10 to 20 hours. So I invested in this setup from Apache Simulators, which is like $1,200. I built a PC for $2,000, headset $400 or $500, then little accessories here and there. And got a Corvette. Nice. And I figured $4,000 invested is worth about 10 hours of flight time at $400 an hour flight time. And I did this for a while just looking at a screen. Then I updated a VR. I did like 50 to 70 hours just staring at the screen. VR made it a lot nicer for approaches and stuff. And then while I was in the process doing this around the world thing, I need to look back and see like what day it was. But I want to say it was like around Japan time. So like episode 20s or 30s in the series. I went to Discovery Flight, was able to hover on day one, and got my license in the minimum amount of hours. And now I'm working on my commercial license. So the stuff in the sim does cross over pretty well as far as aerodynamic theory and how things work. One of the ones where headlights goes up and down, so that would narrow it down to anything like pre-2000 or pre-early 2000s. So the C5 Corvettes have flip-up headlights. That would be 97 through 2004. Then before that, you had the C4 Corvette, which would have been, 84, I think? 84 through 96 would have been a C4 Corvette. The C3 Corvette, I'm going to butcher the years on these older ones. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you C3s or C2s. I know the C1 started in what, 57, 56, something like that. Did the C2s have flip-ups? I feel like the C2s had flip-ups also. VR is great. I need to upgrade as I'm using the original Rift. Oh, wow, yeah. I had the Quest 3 and donated it to my nephew as he enjoyed using it. And he's pestering his parents for one. Yeah, I'm on the MetaQuest 3. And it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. For the price, for the dollars, for it being an inside-out headset so you don't have to have exterior stations for anything, you cannot beat it. The downside is you're dealing with meta stuff, and they tend to be more of a fan of their own games and their own programs. And they want to fight you for different things here and there. C3 68 to 82. Okay. So it's 83 on the C4. I was close. Please don't hate me for getting a year wrong on a C4 Corvette. Yeah, the Quest 3, it's solid. I like it. Sure, like a Pimax Ultra Light Billion X whatever $1,200 headset would be cool, but also I kind of judged my entire investment on this VR gaming setup as a thing. It's like, cool, if I spend $50,000 on a simulator, I'm not getting $50,000 worth of experience and saved money on my actual pilot's license. Now, if I spend $4,000 on this, like I did, I could very much save 10 hours of learning how to hover, which I'm pretty sure I did. You know, I was able to hover day one. There was no, like, learning how to hover. It was like, once the instructor's like, oh, you can hover, it was never like, hey, let's work on this. It would just be like, oh, look, we have a crosswind today. Whenever we're hovering or sitting somewhere talking about something, sit in a hover and sit with a crosswind as like a left rear quartering or something, you know, just making it difficult for me. So, like, there was never I feel like the $4,000 worth it for me. C2 63 to 67. And it's blue. Blue's a good color. Blue's a good color on the C4s. I've always liked the C4s. I've always liked them. Are they missing engine potential? Sure. You know, it's sure, there were performance parts back then for it, but most people, they would just carburate them because all the performance stuff for a standard small block Chevrolet is carbureted. So they would just carburate it, and then you're limited to space and stuff like that when you do that. But I like C5s because you go to the LS-based engine. All the performance parts, fuel injection, tuning, there's so much stuff for LS-based stuff, and it all fits under the hood still. You do too much carburetor stuff on top of a C4, you end up popping out of the hood, but there's not a lot of people do like serious fuel injection tuning for the, I'm pretty sure it's a TPI system. Or no, C4 would be the LT engine, right? Yeah. Even then, I mean, a lot of people did there's 1,000 horsepower LTs out there. But most people would carburet, convert it, and then the OmniSpark really held a lot of people back for advanced tuning because there wasn't a lot of people that wanted to do aftermarket OmniSpark things because they're such a pain to get to. And then there's not a lot of aftermarket tuning that's really available with the OmniSpark. But I love C4s. They're such a vibe. They're so cool. If there would be like a clean C4 that would pop up near me, manual transmission, all the options that I'd want or whatever, yeah, I'd be on it. Part of me, I still think the C6 is like my bay of what It's not my poster car because I was in high school when the C6 was out. So it wasn't like a kid's poster car thing. And the C5s were never like super, super attractive. Like they look good, but they're not like sexy. They don't have like lines. C4s they fit the 80s. C5s are kind of like more 90s feeling, which I mean they are late 90s. C6s, they have some good sexy lines to them in my opinion. But the C6 has always been my bang. Like if I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go spend sub $30,000 sports car that I have to drive consistently and I want to modify a little bit, which I do, C6 Corvette, by far. You just need the carburetor, yeah. And I know people do make LS swap kits for the C4, which if I was buying a C4 and it were needing engine work and parts and pieces that totaled, let's just say there was $2,000 of maintenance that I needed to do on a C4, I would go ahead and spend the $5,000 and do an LS swap. But that's just me also. You know, I'm familiar with that platform. I'm not scared of that platform. I don't mind doing that work because it still bolts up to the transmission. You may need a spacer on the back of the crankshaft to get the flywheel flex plate, whichever, to fit correctly, or to space out correctly for the input shaft on the transmission. But I'm pretty sure the motor mounts are the same. You'd have to figure out what oil pan's supposed to work with that. Couldn't tell you, don't know, never looked that far into it. But yeah, if there is a decent amount of repair cost to get the C4 up to C4 spec, I would do that. Unless it was a C4 or ZR1, and they had the LT4 or LT5 engine, which was a quad cam overhead cam engine, if I remember correctly. Sounds wicked. Sounds like almost like a Coyote Ford engine almost. The ZR1 C4s are super cool. They're rare though. I mean, to be fair, any ZR1 technically is rare. But the C4 is ZR1. You just don't see them much around anymore. Either it's set around in somebody's yard and kind of rotted away a little bit and kind of forgotten about just because it's a C4 and it doesn't look new and shiny, or it's stuck in a collection or a little museum somewhere. But a C4 ZR1, that would be a very cool piece to get a hold of. I remember the Gun YouTube channel, Demolition Ranch, he did one. 186 nautical miles. We're doing about 140 knots over the ground. So that's an hour and 20 minutes or so till destination. And we'll see how we're feeling. We'll see what the weather looks like. The sun seems to be in a pretty favorable area to give us 2.5 to 3 hours till sunset. If that's the case, we'll see if we can start working over to the western side of Iceland. So that way we don't have like just a fully 13,000 feet day of cruising at whatever we're doing here. True airspeed 151 knots, indicated 150 or 123. That's what altitude does, boys. Altitude and temperature. What is outside temperature? Do I have an outside temperature gauge here? Outside air temperature, -10. That's why we have the pitot heat on. Oh, it's a C4. The seats are going to be warm. That's just part of it. Unless somebody never drove it, the seats are going to be warm. Just kind of what it's going to be. The C4s are great. C6, like I said, C6 is my bay. It's got the curves. I don't care for the C7s. The ZR1's sexy, obviously. The Z06, C7, cool, supercharged, whatever. I just don't care for the lines. The C7 or the C7 ZR1 kind of compensates for that when you do like the big wing full attack package. But other than that, I don't care for the C7 that much. C8, kind of the same thing. Don't care for the base model C8. The Z06 fixes a little bit better. The side vent on the Z06 and the ZR1 make it better. And then I like the center exhaust that's on the Z06. The quad exhaust on the outside edges is not Corvette-y for me. Because in my mind, Corvette's like C4 or C5, C6 having that center exit, and C7 having the center exit. So the outside exit, side exit, not side, but outside corner exit on the C8 just doesn't do it. But when you go to the Z06, it does that, and it gives it a cool engine too. It's a flat plane crank, which you just don't see often in American cars. And Corvette seats are not fun. Was that just a C4 thing, or just GM performance car seats have like bad springs and stuff in there that just make it a pain? Not C4 and up, at least. I know I did some, not like full upholstery work, if you will, when I worked at Toyota. In my younger years, I did some upholstery recovers and stuff on people's seats, or like a used car that would come in or whatever. And that's just taking the seat out, flipping it over, taking the stuff off, cutting the hog rings, getting those out and re-putting them in there. Not that bad. Would I want to make the seat covers? No, I would not. But just doing the hog ring stuff, it's not terrible. Not very simple design. I feel like most sports car seats get into that. Not a trap, it's just when you make a sporty seat, you have to put these extra bolsters and stuff, and even if it's just a smooth seat with bolsters, it doesn't look good, and somebody's paying a premium for a top-of-the-line sports car, and blah, 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 and yeah, I get it, you know. Simple as simple does. So here's the question, though. Are we going to have to descend through clouds in an hour when we start getting near Iceland? Or will it clear up for us? That I do not know. No, sewing custom upholstery from scratch? Yeah, screw that. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for it. You know, I don't want to do it though. I'll pay somebody. It's just like body work on cars. Like, sure, I know how to sand, I know how to mix Bondo, I know how to apply, I know how to blend and paint, and I don't want to. That's the thing. I know how to do the timing belt on my Lexus. I don't want to do the timing belt on my Lexus. There's that difference there. Doesn't look friendly below us. Oh, it's a C3? Hey, C3s are cool too. Those have lines. C3s, C2s, they have some sexy lines. They're very similar in my opinion. But then again, like people would say like C4s and C5s are similar. So yeah, I like the idea of daily driving a sports car. It's silly, but a lot of times sports cars are rough on fuel. And that's one of the cool things about the Corvette, since it's a aerodynamic car that could theoretically do over 200. You know, if you put enough little extra power through it, it's geared to do over 200 with factory, like if you top out 6th gear in a C6 Corvette, you're doing over 200. It's just a matter of getting the power to top out in 6th gear. It gives you pretty favorable gear ratios for getting good mileage. Because 4th gear is 1-to-1, 5th gear overdrive, 6th gear, 2nd overdrive. So I like the idea of daily driving a C6 because there are people that get like 30-something miles per gallon on the interstate with it. And I think that's absolutely hilarious. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is my good gas mileage car. Like Miatas get worse mileage to an extent. We take commuting and stuff like that. .7 distance, 154 nautical miles to that. Not terrible, I'm just not looking forward to landing, just like I wasn't looking forward to taking off for this. Which is kind of the downside of all of these, all these water flights. It's like the flying's not bad. Like I sit down and I'll do 2-3 hours a day sometimes on this and not stream it just because I enjoy flying and messing around on a sim. What I don't enjoy is making myself sit here and do it for the stream, which is whatever. We'll get over it. Clouds are getting taller. That means they're more convective. We have a waypoint over off to our right. Okay, so we do have another more convective system right here in front of us. After that, it looks like it may just be more normal clouds. Because this doesn't show clouds, this just shows precip on my weather stuff here. And that's 10 miles away or so for that. Which will be all this stuff up here that we're going over, which we'll probably be dealing with some updrafts as we go here. So that may save us a little bit of fuel since we're above it. I'm going to keep my ground speed over 120. We're up in the 130s now. Happy with that. Oof. Gotta be careful on power pulled because we will suck fuel more and more and more. And we are already going to be very fussy on fuel levels here. Also, I don't know if the airport that we're going to has an approach chart. I already forgot the letters of what we're going to. BIHN. BIHN. gears. I'm checking procedures. I'm going to assume coming in over the water, give us like a 3.6. Oh no. BIHN. Instrument approaches. Charts. Cookie settings, whatever. Approach charge, runway 35. No. Okay, so looks like we should be able to come in over that. That's annoying. Trying to see if I can see an approach plate for it, get a practice approach in, but I don't have a subscription to Icelandic information, so that's not a thing. Okay, we're getting over here near the heavier rain, so we're going to be dealing with more vertical clouds. We're higher than we had been flying before. We're at 14,500 feet. Also, what I do want to do, I want to check the weather here. More info, weather, 2983. Can't see that tiny ship. 2983. Enter. Sick. Oop, I'm starting to see some gray brown ahead of us up here. That could mean land is finally in view. I'm okay with that. Good thing, good problem. Means we're at least kind of going in the right direction, you know? Okay, let's see if I can do this without crashing us. Flight plan. Slowing down a whole bunch, I don't want that. Actually, I don't want to deal with this. We'll deal more with the approach when we get there. I was kind of wanting to do like a straight in off the ocean, because I think it has a setup for some sort of teardrop bullshit entry right now. We'll see. That's definitely land that we're seeing up there. Great news. Are we in gliding distance? No. We won't be in gliding distance till we're over the land. But it is there. We are heading in the right direction. An hour 50 of fuel left. We're 148 nautical miles, and we're traveling at ground speed at 148 knots. So we have fuel. As long as I don't decide just to speed up an extra 20 knots and start burning more. the streamline even a little bit here, maybe help us out some. I'm going to turn landing lights off, see if that will save us any. Again, I think this is B-I-H-N, correct. No charts. Ugh. I don't know if anybody can send me an approach plate for BIHN. Nah. Because I don't have the GPS things. I don't want to have to type that in. If I had like an autopilot or somebody to hold the stick for me while we were flying, that'd be a different thing, but that kind of doesn't exist here. So, no worries. Excuse me. Almost like if I was a good pilot, I would have looked that stuff up beforehand. Ground speed 115. What am I doing going so slow? I wonder if that's what the weather looks like always up here. Are there ever any non-cloudy days? Non-cloudy bullshit days? Nope, dogs hear something. Here he is. Dino alert. Come on, bud. Dino, come on, get up here. Hey, buddy. Mwah. I see you, bud. The rare Dino sighting in the stream. Say hello, everybody. Hey, Dino. Dino, look over here. There you go. Okay, thank you. Okay, I gotta fly. Thank you. That's Dino. He's my homie. What a good boy. 10 people watching. Hello guys, welcome to stream. If you don't mind, there's a like button down there. That goes a long way for me, believe it or not. If you have not a collie, he's Australian Shepherd. He may have some collie in him. Australian Shepherd is the big one that I remember. We did one of the DNA test things on him to figure out what makes Dino Dino. Yeah, his big one's Australian Shepherd. But the dude's great. My best friend. He, whenever I hear a helicopter outside flying over, I'll go outside to look at the helicopter because guess what? Kind of like these things. He learned that when something that's a helicopter is making a noise outside, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to bring him outside. So one day I'm sitting down here in the zone watching TV or YouTube or something, and he comes down and he's like, hey, and he's getting my attention. I'm like, okay, cool, you need to go outside. So we go outside, and like a minute later a helicopter flies over. I was like, oh, that's cool, good timing. He pees, come back in, and then like an hour later he does it again, and we go outside, there's another helicopter going over. I'm like, twice isn't a coincidence. If it is, it's a very, very lucky coincidence. So we started reinforcing that good behavior, and he legitimately will hear a helicopter before we do, and let us know, and we'll go outside or check flight radar, be like, yeah, there is a Bell 407, Dino, good job. You had a Cocker Spaniel, she passed a few months ago. Oh, that's sad. I've got another pup named Ellie. She's 15. She's like Schnauzer with some like poodle, and I think she has some Cocker Spaniel in her too. Anyway, she's getting skinnier and skinnier every day. Sleepier and sleepier. You know, it's just 15 years, long time for a pup. 12 years is long for a lot of pups with how modern food is and stuff. I'm trying to feed them differently now to get them more natural things. Oh yeah, dude, he's like Ellie, she's smart, but she's like manipulative smart. Dino's just like a different level of smart. Like I there's certain words that we cannot say around him, which obviously that's with a lot of people. Like you say walk, or you say dinner, or you say outside, they're obviously going to get excited. Every Saturday, since he's not in here right now, so I can talk about this. Every Saturday we typically go to a restaurant called the Lovin' Oven, which that kind of doxes where I'm at, but whatever. My information's out there. We go to the Lovin' Oven most Saturdays. But not right now because of heat and some things. But usually we're going there a lot. Sometimes Fridays, because they're open later, we can go later at night. It's not a million degrees. Either way, he goes with us. I can't say today's Friday, which means tomorrow's Saturday, because Saturdays we go to Lovin' Oven. Can't say calzone. Like, really, days of the week are kind of off limits, because he's like, oh, if they're talking about Tuesday, they may bring up Saturday in conversation. Nearly 16, wow. Yep, that's where Ellie's at now. Ellie just had her 15th birthday a few weeks ago, so she's not nearly 6. She's more 15 than she is 16. But she still seems spry enough to where I could see her making it to 2027. I don't foresee her making it out of 2027, which it sucks to say. And it sucks to lose them, being a father to humans is one thing, completely different thing. I'm not going to compare myself to that whatsoever. But being like a pet father, it's like they give you so much love, but they're only around for such a short amount of time that it feels like, man, I could have done more, but you do the best you can, and also, like, I'm not made of money. If, like, Ellie, she's got some little bumps and lumps, like little lipoma type bumps on her and stuff. And the doctors are like, well, we get these off, but it's going to be like $4,000 to get all these off or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to say it's throwing away $4,000, but putting $4,000 into that's going to be like, to what avail? And then even at that point, like, they're going to have to put her under, and then putting a 15-year-old dog under anesthesia is dangerous in itself. She started having seizures like 4 years ago. And they're like, okay, yeah, well, we can give her an MRI or a CAT scan or something. And if we see something that's pointing to being what's causing these seizures, we're going to prescribe her medicine A. If we don't see anything, whatever, we're going to prescribe her medicine A. And if we do this test and it shows us this thing, we're going to prescribe her medicine A. And I'm like, how about we just skip the $10,000 test and give her medicine A? And she's been basically seizure-free for 2 years now, 3 years now. But it's like, unless she was like Dino's age, where he's 3, a lot of life left him or whatever, it's like, I don't see spending huge amounts of money like that on it. Like, of course, if it's like your human child, you've got health insurance or whatever. Oop, hold up a second. I've got to. Is this not plugged in? I may. I may have to chill on the VR for a second. Yeah, give me a quick second. We're gonna set the VR down for a second, because I'd rather have that when we're landing. Tell me my battery's low, even though we're plugged in. So I'm gonna change your microphone so that way y'all can hear me on a different mic. Property. Okay, so the audio is gonna suck here, but you're still gonna hear me. So that's that you're coming from audio up here now. I'm going to take this off. We'll deal with the chart thing here in a second. Let's see, I'm going to get back to this. I'll make sure y'all can hear me since we're not in VR anymore. Yep, so sorry, that's going to kind of ruin some of this, but... Oh. Okay, welcome to flying in 2D. We're gonna do this for the next hour or so. Can I move this around? Is that possible? Yeah. Sure the headset's charging. It is. Which I have it plugged into the wall, so it should be charging while we fly. I've never had it die that quick on me before. But anyways, welcome to slightly higher resolution of everything, but we're fixed in our sight and our view. I'm a little bit less able to look at stuff, so I'm having to like really lean in here and see whatever on the screen. But it's what we got to do. We got to do the thing. It's only 1.6 miles. Oh, the scale down there is wrong. Fun. So yeah, welcome to the audio of the S360-03. There's a chart, which now it's going to be easier for me to look at a chart. BIHN runway 35 approach chart. $2,200, descend down 0.5 miles from 0.7 airport, elevation 67 feet, 6'7", I'm an idiot. Okay. No problem, I'll be back over here. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It'd be nice to have the approach set up on the sim, where I could easier go into the thing, but I don't think visibility there is going to be horrible. More info, weather, winds, few clouds. It's VFR right now. We are broken, 310 at 16, decent winds, few at 2,500, broken 5,500. Yeah, so we're doable. You know, it's not like it was when we were leaving Faroe Islands. Also, can y'all hear me now? Yay, nay? Want to make sure it's still decent. Yeah, it's just Insta 360 audio. I could set up my mic, but I don't think that's worth it really for the little bit of time. And I think it uses the same USB port that I'm using on the camera. So, oh well. Let's just make sure that we're managing our fuel the right way. 112 miles direct. Really, I wonder if we could do I'm going to direct to the final here. So like I said, it should be VFR. Shouldn't be that big of a deal to get in there. I'm going to direct you down here. That way it gets us over the town and everything coming in. Direct to, and then we can hit a 3-5 heading from there. Yeah, that's weird. We also had some power outages while the headset was plugged in, so maybe it messed with charging or something like that. But it's showing orange and charging now, so that's good. And within 35, 40 minutes when we're really needing it, I should be able to pause real quick, put it back on, get set up, and boogie. And now I know this isn't the shaky VR that fans of the channel have come to know and love, but we're dealing with it. So 6 miles, doing 130 knots, 140 over the ground. That's fantastic. I can definitely see the browns on the synthetic vision in there, so we're definitely doing something right. Excuse me. Corvettes, cool cars. But I'm also a Toyota guy. I'd love to get my hands on a Supra. Of course, those are ridiculous prices now. Even like the Mark IIIs, like they're cool, but there's a lot of work I don't want to do to them to make them something that I would trust for daily duty sort of things. And even though I'm not really a fan of the newer Supras, I still kind of want a newer manual one. Just to where it's like, cool, I can have something that's like unmodified or like a mild exhaust or something, and just have something that's stupid reliable. Just to hop in and drive and do like a drag week or something like that in it. Go take somewhere on a longer trip. Even though I do not have the money to be playing with Car Week sort of things out in Monterey. Monterey Car Week happens to be going on currently, and I would love to go out there for that 1 year. But also that's a multi-millionaires game to be out there for a serious purpose other than just looking at stuff. But I still just want to go look at stuff. There's a lot of cool older cars that will be there at Pebble Beach and things like that. And yeah, I'd pay the ticket to get into those concourses to go look at those older cars. The newer, like, oh my god, Lamborghini Temerario, don't care. Don't care. No, it's... what server am I on? Usually it's like East USA server. Online. Automatic East USA 59 milliseconds. And we're going to the BIHN airport, currently 99 miles away from the coast, off to the southwest, at a, what, 120 heading? If you used half a tank of fuel, it was 280 nautical miles to start. We're less than half, and now we've used half a tank, so we have extra in there. Showing at this current cruise and everything, about an hour 40 minutes of fuel left. Just taking off from there. Nice. Hopefully we'll intercept in somewhere. I see a tag up there. I can't tell if that's a person or whatever. My screen doesn't have that sort of resolution. But I can see a tag way up ahead of me. Yeah, I'm cruising at like damn near 14,000 feet right now, so. Whose idea was it to fly around the world? What a stupid thing. What an absolutely ridiculous thing to be like, hey, let's do this on stream where people have to hold you accountable and message you on Instagram and be like, hey, when's the rest of the Around the World series gonna happen? What a dumb idea. It's Some little light clouds here at 14,000. No big deal. I'm not really going IMC with those. You can see me? Yep, I'm out here. I said I had seen the little player tag pop up for a bit at one point, but the screen resolution for me is not the best. I'm playing on a television from 2020, bought when the entire world shut down for nothing. Bought a TV at Best Buy because my old one pooped out. They loaded it in my car. I got home, took it out of the box. There was a crack in the screen. I had to take it back and pay another $150 for an extra, or a next TV. How long to land? Let's see, 91 miles. Ground speed. I can speed up a little bit. I've got room to speed up. I'm trying to manage fuel and stuff too. 40 minutes or so, most likely. It's super weird flying like this because I'm used to having the headset on where I can like more easily look down and I'm closer to the screens and everything. And I just looked and I was at 15,000 feet. You're gonna land on the coast? Sick. Cool. I'll be at that town just south of BIHN. That's where I have my current waypoint set up. And then I'll be vectoring north from there to hit the airport. God, I hate spam messages. What was that? Where'd that even come from? Oh my god, do I want models? No, I don't. How'd y'all get my phone number? Ugh. Go make some food. You got a few minutes. You're good. Hey guys, welcome in. Got 10 people in chat right now, our viewers. We're in between the Faroe Islands and Iceland. Usually we fly in VR, but my headset was dying for some reason, so we're going normal flat screen until we start working onto our approach and descent down into Iceland. And then we'll change from there. Currently we're in the Airbus H125 from Cowan Simulations in the LEMAS delivery. 85 nautical miles from the coast. We got about an hour and 20 minutes of fuel left. And we're traveling at 145 knots of ground speed. So we're 35, 40 minutes from destination. And after we make ground, we'll see what we're looking like. We'll see what the weather looks like. We may work down the coast some and try to get to a further destination through Iceland. So there's less to fly on the next leg, which I'd like for the next leg to get us to Greenland. So I can make the next stream shorter. Because today's stream's only been not horribly long or crazy. if we can make the next stream shorter, then we're definitely going to make the next stream shorter, you know. It's already very annoying and pesky to build up the mental desire to sit and fly a simulator for... I'll do a 5-hour stream over ground, that's no big deal. But to do like a 2-hour stream over water up here at 15,000 feet, it's less desirable, that's for sure. Also, since y'all are in here, feel free to click the like button, leave a comment, it gives me stuff to talk about, because there's not a lot to look at right now other than the fact that we're VFR over IFR, somewhere over the northern Atlantic. And if you're looking for a general idea of where I'm at, that's where I'm at, this being Iceland. And also the microphone will get better once we get back into VR, when I'm using the microphone on the headset itself. Right now you're using this microphone up here, so it's a little bit further away from the mouth. Cool. It's going to be really, not really nerve-wracking. Like, I know we're going to make it unless something horrible goes wrong, knock on wood. But watching the fuel get to where it's consistently showing less than an hour of fuel is going to be annoying. Also, we're in the zero repercussion machine, and this is a real helicopter going over the real water. I'm sure it would be much more nerve-wracking. It's cool to see 75, 76 miles left though. 20 miles left is going to feel good. It's 20 miles is like cool, even if we completely gray out from getting in the soup, like I can kind of brute force a 20-mile instrument flight. I would not want to be instrument this entire time. That's why we're up here at 13,000 feet. Because we took off in like half-mile visibility, ridiculous IMC conditions. Yeah, if you want to see something stupid, it's when we took off in the conditions we were there. That is on the ground saying, no, we'll wait to take off till tomorrow. That's what the conditions were when we took off. In real life, I would have not have even considered leaving the hotel to go to the helicopter to fly. Also, is this what watching airplane streamers is usually like? Except they're not having to hold the controls the entire time. They work their autopilot, twist their little knobs to get their headings, and set it up on a nav mode, and then just talk about shit in the comments for 4 hours while they're going from New York to London or something. I'm very unfamiliar with that game. I've watched V1 simulations before, but not a whole bunch often. I've been watching his Jet Card series more though. Jet Card seems neat, but they don't have helicopters integrated into it yet, so I don't want to get too deep into that ecosystem. I am a member of VATSIM community. Don't do it often though. I need to. I forgot completely how to log on to it, so that would have to be a refresher course, and I'd like to do some VATSIM stuff eventually. But also, there's not much for me in VATSIM. I really just did that as a getting better talking to ATC while I was getting my private pilot's license. But for this, it's like, okay, cool. We're flying into an airport with tower or something. Like, we don't need to talk to approach coming in. Because, like, we're not coming off of, like, an arrival procedure. There's no center telling us where to go. We're flying VFR stuff around a city or whatever. Like, role-playing is, like, police helicopter, medical helicopter or something. And, like, at most, it'd be, like, Lexington Tower, helicopter, 420 Foxtrot Whiskey, 10 miles to the northwest, with a request. Hey, what's your request? Like, hey, you got a patient, we're inbound to Hospital ABC, which is inside your airspace. They'd say, okay, cool, clear into the airspace, do your thing. Remain VFR. Remain north of the field, you know, whatever. Ah, 68 miles, we missed 69. Definitely in VR I have a better concept of what my pitch, attitude, and airspeed and everything is. I keep re-climbing up here. The airport said VFR conditions, so we're going to hope for VFR conditions at the airport. With that said, we may have to punch a layer to get down to VFR conditions. We'll try to do that over the ocean and set a decision height at like 1,000 feet, or at least like a minimum descent altitude until we're established on a solid approach coming into the runway. It shouldn't be horrible. I'm not extremely worried about it. Especially once the headset's charged up, it gives me a little bit more spatial awareness of instruments and everything that's going on. We'll be fine. I'm also curious if this is like a second monitor thing for you guys. Is listening and watching, is it more of an ASMR sort of enjoyment thing for you? What makes you sit around and watch somebody have a virtual helicopter stay mildly straight and level for hours at a time? $11 people in here. Welcome. Also, for any background for you people who don't know who I am or what the history here is, 12 people, what's up? I bought and built the simulator 2 years ago or so as a preparation for getting my real pilot's license. I know hovering a helicopter can take anywhere from 10 to 20 hours of flying in real life to like really get it down to where you're comfortable with it. And I said, hey, if I can skip 10 to 20 hours of hovering around and not learning how to do other stuff, I can focus on the other stuff, which counts more for your private test, and hopefully save me that 40 hours of flight time, or that 10-20 hours of flight time. Yeah, normal TV does. I don't watch normal TV. I literally watch YouTube. Streamers every once in a while. And it's not the streamers you think. Like, I watch Grand Theft Auto roleplay. As ridiculous for a 35-year-old guy, I enjoy watching Grand Theft Auto roleplay on stream, which is silly, but it's just comedy acting. But you're in a world where you can kind of do whatever you want, you know. Yeah, so I built the sim setup here to teach myself how to hover. it worked. Hovered day one, and I have my real helicopter license. I'm currently working on instrument and commercial. Then I'll be getting into CFI and CFII stuff as I'm touching commercial. I want to try to get all that done with the money that I've invested into it. Plane behind me and to the right. Looks like a normal flight coming in. It's not a flare. It looked like we were barely moving there, but we're doing 136 knots over the ground, so. .58 nautical miles, cruising at 130 knots. So I mean, we're almost doing 3 times that speed, so 20 minutes. We're getting close. Yeah, I see a estimated time on the Garmin down there on the bottom screen showing 20 minutes, so it's a good estimation on my part. Which is good because I'm showing an hour, 20 minutes of fuel. We're doing really good. Yeah, normal TV, there's just not much there for me. I work in the film industry. That's my normal day job. I work in the film industry. I don't watch TVs or movie. It's just nothing that attracts me to it, you know? Let's go ahead and drop down to 10,000 feet. We'll lean forward into it, drop the power a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing for normal TV for me. It's all the 5 minutes of content for 10 minutes of commercials. And at least here in America, it's just pharmaceutical commercials. That's all it is. Pharmaceuticals or some bullshit food, or but it's election season, some lying politician. You know, none of it's good. And then, like I said, I work in TV. Like, I enjoy the writers and stuff. The writers are they're nice people. But for my personality level, and like nobody makes a TV show that's like, oh cool, this is very Matt. See a GTA 555. Is that you up there? I can finally read that gamer tag. Yeah, they're just nothing for me. Like, some movies are cool, but also, like, I don't know what movies are coming out. I have YouTube Premium, so I watch things without advertisements, and I don't watch TV, so I don't see trailers unless somebody sends me something, or unless it's something that really ticks one of my interest boxes. Like, I'm a car guy, I do firearm stuff in the film industry. It's like action movie stuff. Like, I see about it. That's you, cool. Can't remember the last time you turned on TV. And even then, it was to stream a movie recommendation. Yeah, exactly. Usually, if I'm turning on the TV, it's because I'm going to be watching a movie. Or turning on the TV that's not in a YouTube setup. 50 miles from the shore, from that town. ETE, 15 minutes, 13,000 feet, descending nice and easy. I assume you may have live weather set up in there, Ryan. What's it look like? Is it definitely VFR once I get below the layer? I just gotta get below the layer. Man, so much of the TV stuff now, it's all meant to be decisive. It's everybody trying to put their own opinions, which to an extent it's art. Yeah, VFR, sick. It's art. And I don't want to take away art from what it is, because as humans we do need art in some form. Whether that's being creative, like me making a video that's not just streaming, even though I guess this could be an art form in some sort. but to write an entire show and put jokes and give all these different characters personality and lives and make something believable where people can enjoy and relate to it. There's an art form to that. But so much of it now just seems like anything that's produced and put out on the mass market, it's all very left. And this isn't me being left versus right. I'm neither. I'm not up, I'm not down, I'm not left, not right. I'm leave me alone. But popular media's only gone far left unless you get to like cringy right stuff, and even then it's cringy right stuff. I don't want either of it. So just normal TV is nothing for me. I'd rather watch Cletus McFarland on YouTube do race car stuff. I'd rather watch Bay Area Bugs do role-play stuff in Grand Theft Auto. I'd rather watch Inheritance Machining or Cutting Edge Engineering do like cool machining and fabrications of parts and fixing stuff. That's the type of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see like people pushing whatever agenda that their network tells them that they have to push, or pushing whatever agenda that they think that they need to because that's going to be their contribution. That's how they're going to be remembered, and they're going to complain because they need to make $10,000 a week writing a show. No, I don't. I don't subscribe to that. And that's not a YouTube pun. I don't. I would much rather watch people on here do things. I'd much rather watch normal people. I'm sure there's a point when people put their own opinions out there, but I treat that more, especially on the YouTube side, as that's a normal human being with a normal opinion. And to an extent, you're just expressing your opinion, which is part of being human. And I'm not going to judge or give anybody a hard time for that. I'm friends with a lot of people, especially working in film, that don't agree with me. But guess what? They're homies. I give them the shirt off my back. They're homies. I'm not judging them for that. But when they try to make it everybody's problem, then it's like, okay, cool. Just be a dude with your own opinion. Have a good day. Enough ranting about that. See, we're at 11.6 coming in. Also, Ryan, I don't know if they updated the stuff about like helicopter wake turbulence absolutely destroying these other helicopters. But I have a rule for my streams where if I eat shit and crash, I restart from my last landing point, and my last landing point was 2 hours ago. So don't fly near me until I at least touch down at the fuel farm or wherever I'm landing, so that way I'm not restarting all the way back there. A griefing would be funny, but I'd prefer not to, you know. Of course, after that, we may go fly further around and we'll do formations and be goofy or whatever. But at least wait until I'm skids down and like confirmed that we've at least made it this far. Because I almost had that happen one time, a handful of episodes ago. But they may have fixed that here in the recent updates. Because before I could stream today, I had to update to SU6. I think we're in update 6 now. It looks like I'll have another hole in the clouds when I'm getting closer, so I'm not going to worry about dipping below yet. We'll still stay high for a little bit. Another 10 miles or so, then we'll start dipping below. And before we do that, I'll throw the VR headset on and get us back into that. Cloud base is about 7,000. Oh, sick. Yeah, so very thin layer, because I'm seeing ocean here below me. Here directly ahead of me, that's ocean. That's ocean reflection. So thin layers, broken. And I think that's what the METAR said too, was broken layer at 7,000-ish. Not a horrible flight so far, though. I'll say that. I need to look at the outside of flying map again to look at ranges going to Greenland, because I don't even know how far this flight that we did today is. But it's the post-Greenland flight that's going to be annoying. And even once we get over to Canada, there's still some long stretches we've got to do to get down to like populated areas to where it's not like very specific flight planning that we have to do. Like for this right here, it's like, cool, like I'm taking off from here, I'm landing here. I specifically have to go here because that's what range will allow me to do. But in so many other places, like going through Indonesia and going up through Southeast Asia, Nepal, and there's a whole bunch of places to land. And it's like, okay, cool, if I don't feel like flying another hour, we're just going to land here because there's a place to land. Couldn't do that right now. Right now, the goal is just get to land, and then if we're still feeling it, if the weather's still allowing it, then we're going to work our way to the other side of Iceland just to give us that extra jump for the next stream, so I'm not having to do an hour of Iceland flying and then do a 2.5 hour water crossing to get over to the mainland Greenland. See, ground speed 155, airspeed 130s. I do not want to be climbing though. We're 10,000 feet, we're pretty good. It just feels slow because everything's just crawling around me. That's the downside about upper flying and water crossings and everything too. It just feels so slow. I didn't even think about it earlier. I'm going to turn the TV down a couple of notches. I think what I'm going to do here is punch this little hole in the clouds. So we're 28 miles through. Ooh, did I just hear thunder outside? We will continue expediting. Oh, yep. Summertime convectiveness is happening here. With that said, if I do lose power, we're going to restart the stream eventually from our last known distance from shore. That's not me crashing, that is weather knocking my power out, which we lost power for like 3 hours yesterday. Wasn't streaming though, thankfully. Thor, chill, you're good. Watching my brother's dog right now, and he does not like thunderstorms. But yeah, if weather knocks me out, the stream ends, sorry. I'll comment in here on my monitoring account, so if anybody sees this name here, type in chat, the Canyon Runner, that's me, that's just my account that I watch the stream with, so I can do moderator stuff because I don't have a secondary screen. Because usually I'm in VR, so I can't have stuff up on the computer screen and also deal with that. So yeah, if we lose power, I'll hop on that real quick, say, hey, lost power, we'll restart stream. And as always, if y'all are subscribed, you can have notifications on and see when I jump back in, or just catch the follow-up stream. We can see land now, that's cool. That's fresh, that's new, I like that. Also kill some of that airspeed. I don't like being in V&E. Although I do like expediting. But also lower altitude means higher airspeed, but it's lower true airspeed because higher altitudes kind of play things. Sick. I can see. That's great. I love that. Headset's still charging. But we're what? 5 minutes away. So I'm going to pause real quick, go back into VR. So to power it back on because I turned it off. We're at 60%. So I need to re-turn all that on. So once I get it on and connect to the computer, we'll turn the microphone back to this. That way you're not hearing me through my Insta360 anymore. Link, launch. So crap, that's there. Crap, this needs to go here. And I can change my microphone to Oculus. Okay, y'all can hear me. Let me test this real quick. I believe y'all should be able to. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. I'm just waiting to hear audio on my phone. There we go. Sick. We're all good. You're going to hear me say test a few more times, and that's just me being impatient and waiting. Not in flight. Resume. Ooh. Kind of offset there. Let's kind of reset our seating position. Put our tablet back somewhere where it's usable. Oh. Move that. Zoom in here. Give me a little bit of volume here so I can hear the machine. Welcome back to virtual reality, guys. We're flying. It's much easier. Gonna pitch for speed real quick. 120 knots. We're gonna want 130 or so. Like I said, we're expediting for weather right now. I've got thunder outside and I want to have skids on the ground before we possibly lose power. That would be optimal. Weird. Need to recenter my controls and stuff eventually too. 3 miles to starboard. Sick. Gotta figure out what starboard is. Not showing up there. Oh, I got you. You're showing behind me. Yeah, that's weird that my headset's battery did that. That's I'll start turning it off when we're done, because usually I just set it down and let it do its thing. Go to sleep mode or whatever. But I'll start turning it off. Man, what a beautiful place. Iceland's so cool. It is high on my list of places I want to visit. That is for sure. Airport's more or less in sight. I know where it's at there. If I got you there back in the, looks like a factory. 125 behind me. No hoist. There you go. And yeah, you don't have to reply. You're flying now, so it's easy for me. I can just talk and say shit. You would have to stop flying. I don't want you to have to do that. Left at 285 in 2 seconds. Sick. Gonna kind of start nabbing in. Might as well. I'll be following my Garmin. So whatever approach course it has, we're gonna see this. If it takes me straight into 3.5, that's sick. If not, then we'll divert off as like a contact visual approach and just do that. Dude, come eat, like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be here during, like, completely sunny days in real life, but flying in and seeing, like, water, mountains, and then, like, kind of mean-looking skies, like, 1,000 feet above the mountains would just be a cool thing to see. I'm gonna get rid of this. Yep, looks like Garmin's got an approach course over here set up for me, so I'm going to follow whatever approach in that it's showing for me. We're at 3,000-ish feet now. Airport is over there to our right. Looks like we're hopping on what seems to be what would be equivalent to like a US RNAV, but it's whatever it's considered in Iceland. Turn my landing lights on. Iceland Tower Helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey joining RNAV 35 Iceland. Come out here and hit this point so the GPS doesn't yell at me too much. Because why not do a practice approach while we're here, you know? And I'm really off this line because I wasn't. We were just trying to make it in here. Also, I forget how nose down this helicopter is to... Right turn 355. I got you over off my right. Two minutes, 1.2 miles. Cool. Ten people, welcome in, guys. Got about a quarter tank of fuel left. We're here on final approach. Runways inside up here. We're definitely low for the approach, but we're a helicopter. It's what we do. We've got visual on the runway up here, so really no need to follow an approach course anymore. I think we got to go all the way down to the end of the runway to find fuel. So that's what it looks like. I've only really been streaming for 2 hours, so I think we may throw at least another hour in here, with fingers crossed that I don't lose power from the storm outside. We're going to keep speed. We're not going to be landing on the numbers. We'll be doing like a low approach with a slow quick stop coming down towards the north end of the runway. No fuel to the right. I see fuel farms over to the left. Looks like 2 of them. Whatever Iceland Airport traffic helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey is clear of runway 35 and taxiing to the fuel farm, Iceland place. We have a Huey-esque helicopter over there. See, Ryan should be in here in a second, so I'll face this way. There he is. Okay, I'm skids down, and I just threw fuel in here. Let's see, is there a place worth going that's in the getting across here direction? Really, let's just see how far away this one is. Bravo India Victor right 2 is 136. That's about an hour away. It's a grass strip. I'd like to find somewhere paved. Bravo India Bravo Alpha. I think we'll direct there. Let's see, flight plan, menu, delete flight plan. Okay, Ryan, there you are. We are working. Let me shift C real quick. Okay, Bravo India Bravo Alpha, about 136 miles to 261 heading is where we are heading. I'm gonna give myself an extra hour of flight time today. If I lose power, I lose power, but at least we made it here to Iceland. That's the important part. Oh, there he is. He's out. The man himself. Looks like you got wings because you parked inside of a Cessna or a Cirrus for me. So 261 heading. 137 nautical miles, Bravo India, Bravo Alpha. I'll kind of circle around and wait for you to pick up whenever you're ready. If you wish to continue, if not, just let me know. I don't know if you got other stuff to do. Not my business. Dino, is that you, buddy? Hey, Dino. You keeping Thor company? No, you can fly along? Hell yeah, let's go. Bravo India, Bravo Alpha, and of course my stream's X amount of seconds behind, whatever. 261 heading. 137 nautical miles. You're off ground, sick. And thankfully, we're in relatively VFR conditions right now, which means I don't have to go up to 13,000 feet to be above the weather. That is good news. Like, if I have to touch a cloud a little bit, you know, to check out like one of these glaciers as we're flying over, because I'd like to do some landscape seeing too. Iceland's too beautiful to not do that. I'll risk a little bit of low-level IMC if I need to, but I want to see this. I want to see this Iceland, you know. I'll shorten myself down a little bit. I can look out the window better. Kind of bummed though. I was supposed to, not supposed to. I was given the opportunity to fly one of these up to New York City this weekend, but that fell through. So, oh well. Oh yeah, Iceland in real life is going to be sick. My friend sent me... Did I send you the pictures my friend had sent me, Valeska? He went there on a trip with his wife. And he sent me a whole bunch of the pics of different four-wheel drive vehicles and stuff that were there, because they're all on the giant floating snow tires and everything. So cool. Did I say him and his husband? Him and his wife. I don't know what I said. Hopefully I didn't say him and his husband. I'm sorry, Trevor. And you'll notice I'm a bit off course right now because I want to fly the glacier. Oh, also, fun fact, I just learned this not too long ago. A bit of it's just my not having real experience with this, but I've always considered this FLI indicator as more of like an average of all the important things that you need to know. What it actually is a first limit indicator. So the gauge is going to show you whichever limit you're going to hit first, whether it's a torque limit or a temperature limit or like an N1, N2 limit. It's giving you an accurate gauge of whatever the next limit that you would hit, depending on what your flying conditions or whatever it is, which is cool. So you're not having to like judge 4 different gauges to see which one, like, oh man, I don't want to over torque, but oh crap, I'm almost overheating. Okay, cool, but FLI shows you all of them in one. Yeah, it would have been neat to get up there and get together and have dinner or something, or I don't know what the schedule would have been if I was up there either, so I can't really like, oh man, we would have done this. I don't know, I could have been up there and been extremely busy the whole time, but also I know they'd be doing all the work stuff, and I would really just be there for the ferry. So I may have had complete days off on Sunday and Monday or something, who knows. But that's making me even more and more and more want to push towards commercial. Because, like, obviously I'm working instrument right now, but commercial is first and foremost top priority. I'll get instrument no matter what eventually. You know, that's just a matter of time. But having ferrying opportunities and small employment opportunities for things, commercial's kind of a thing that holds you up on that. So commercial first is, like I said, kind of a priority. But not really like a, oh man, well I'm going to do all my instrument hours, then not do any instrument stuff. Like, no, if I get all my instrument hours and I do my instrument instruction and get that, then I'll do that. And there's also the chance of that where I'll tell the school, like, hey, once I get my instrument, I fully plan on getting commercial, which is, I've already made that intent very clear. It's like I'm also going to be testing my written test for commercial, or for a CFII when I do my instrument test. So it's obviously I'm going to want to get CFI and CFII. Look at this is sick. So a way that I can save on hours is being a safety pilot for somebody getting their instrument, which is what people have been doing with me, where they're riding along passenger seat while I'm doing my instrument training, making sure I don't run into birds or there's a plane that's not transmitting ADS-B that I'm not picking up on or something. Helping with radios and stuff as I'm getting more used to things. So I can pick up 10 to 20 hours of safety pilot stuff, then that really helps me build hours for free, technically, because I'm riding with somebody else that's doing their thing. Really, I'm just there as a formality. And then I would get practice doing CFII things. But that would also help save money as far as the overall hours that I need for commercial, which is 150 hours total. And if I can save 20 hours worth of flight by doing safety pilot for somebody else for 20 hours, I mean, that's $8,000 I'm saving. And that $8,000 can be used to fly in the bigger, nicer helicopter that's easier for instrument stuff, or easier for commercial or CFI testing and stuff, or whatever. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can make that work. I know I'll be talking to them about that. Once I get my instrument rating, it's like, hey, I'm definitely interested in being people's safety pilots. Because, like I said, I would like to be a CFI and instructor, and that's just kind of a soft in on that to help you out. What a cool glacier. Also, there's very few glaciers that are actually progressing. Most glaciers are receding, just with general heat and temperatures and stuff, but there's like only a few glaciers in the world that are actually still pushing forward. Was decision height yelling at me? Yeah. Whew, nice. What a cool place. And it's neat on stuff like this because like this just doesn't exist in America. Like we don't have the geography for stuff like this in America. We got a little bit of this in Alaska, but nothing this sharp. We had some bigger, sharper stuff in the Himalayas, but nothing that kind of felt like this at lower altitude or lower elevation like this is. Definitely Iceland, that's for sure. About 1.3 miles behind me back there, Mr. Orion. And even though this is near cloud layer up here, we're going to push the peak of this mountain. Just so that we got something to ski down on the other side. Not as vastly downhill on this side as I was expecting. It's kind of like a plateaued off. I'm glad I didn't do a full dive. Would have ended ugly. Another huge glacier here. No wonder they call it Iceland. Wild. I was watching a video, Husqvarna? No, it wasn't them. Maybe? Oh no, it was the new Norton. So yeah, Norton came out of nowhere and came back swinging with a street bike, super bike, and like an adventure bike. And they did their press rides over on the west coast of Iceland. And man, it was just so beautiful, the places, like the pictures and everything that I saw of this. There you go, render in for me. You're good. There you go. Good. Yeah, we're definitely probably going to pop some IMC going over this hill up here, but I'm okay with it. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Because we're following the nape of the earth either way, and if it starts getting too thick, we'll just fly closer to the ground. More scud running. Also, anybody watching who hasn't yet, there's a like button. It really helps if you click it. It'd be much appreciated. And subscribe, I guess, too. Come back for the next ones. We have to do, if y'all enjoyed water crossing today, we have another water crossing coming up tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, whenever I stream next. We have another one of those coming up soon. We may do tomorrow. Is that Dino? Dino, come here. Dino, come on. Come on, buddy. Hey there, buddy. Yeah, I know. You're a sweet boy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am flying a helicopter. Thanks. Thanks for pointing that out. Thank you. Okay, thank you. That was my collective. Thank you. On my day off, I'm giving my adventure bike an oil change and taking it for the annual inspection. Might look up some trails to check out. I think Onyx would probably show decent trails and stuff. ON space X, it's like a off-road map thing. I also don't know how much would be up in your area. My whole opinion of the area you live is just like a giant piece of concrete. So, well, maybe there's a few curbs you can drive over. There's another motorcycle app that talks about like roads and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of it, but I do know that Chase on Two Wheels, the YouTube channel, he's sponsored by them for some stuff, and he'll shout them out in his videos. But I think it's like a subscription thing, maybe. I can't remember. Weird. It'd be nice for me to be able to see what the battery level was on this by pressing a button on the remote, but that would be too easy. Dang, Ryan's down there really scud running. I just didn't want to have to climb back up the hill again, so I kind of kept some altitude. Well, if he's scudding it, I'll scud it too. What a crazy landscape. Sucks that we have to mine this place out to get ice cubes for everybody. Just drink your drinks warm, people. You're destroying this landscape. Let's say it looks like about to go down another glacial path here. Dude, I would be the funnest tour pilot if I was given a place like this where it's like, okay, cool. You don't have altitude restrictions, just be safe. I know my friends who fly in Hawaii. over different areas. There's different altitude restrictions that they have to look out for when they're doing stuff. And like, okay, cool, you're over this part of the valley, you have to be at 2,500 feet. This part here, you need to be at whatever. Boy, if I could have a place like Iceland with no altitude restrictions. Oh. We'll right side hug this one. Cut through this little squeeze through here. Left side hug the cliff, the mountain over there. Oh, definitely some mechanical turbulence off the hill there. That is noticeable. Big downdraft too. I am not pushing down. I did not command a 1,500 foot per minute drop. That's for sure. I wonder if we'll get an updraft coming over this side. A lot of times they're reciprocal. I was getting some crazy updrafts Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Wednesday when I was flying. Doing some stuff in the R44. Was it in that? May have been in the R44. Either way, I know at least yesterday when I was flying. It was more around the times when it was starting to get more convective as far as updrafts and everything. And it was like I'd be flying at 2,500 feet. Easy, like not changing any settings, and all of a sudden like we'd be like 2,900 feet. And I'd be having a dump collective to get down because there's a Bravo above us. And it's like over the course of like 10 seconds we're going up hundreds of feet. Just because a lot of air and heating and moisture, humidity, wind, everything's just kind of fighting you whenever you're in this time of year. Let's see how's Ryan doing back there. He's there. I'm not saying that I wish to be a giant streamer, but it is neat having people like fly along with you doing stuff. It's always funny seeing the dudes do it on public servers where they have like 3,000 people watching them, and you log in and they look around, there's like 15 jets all around them, kind of like not on a instrument flight plan, just kind of like VFR forcing it to be near them. Okay, now we'll work our way down again, back to scudding territory. I've gotten so used, which I hate that I'm doing this, but I enjoy flying low. Especially in real life, I'm in a helicopter. As long as I'm above tree level and power line level, and I know where the tower's at, you know, our towers, like radio towers and stuff, then I'll fly pretty low. Because as long as there's no like minimum height. A lot of people say, oh, isn't it 500 feet? Like, no, as long as I can land safely and I'm not endangering persons or properties if something were to happen. So you have to know your limits, and you have to know like where you can put yourself down if you need to. In overpopulated areas, obviously go higher for noise abatement and whatever. But I enjoy flying low. It's fun. It's a helicopter. That's kind of like what it's there for. But I'm doing all this instrument stuff, and like a lot of the instrument approaches, the approach starts at like 3,000 feet coming in, or 3,500 feet going into whatever airport, whatever runway. And I have to be like, okay, let's climb up to 3,000 feet. Like, stupid high for a helicopter. But IFR is a skill that's good to have. Flight planning, knowing how to use your gauges, your GPS, your radios, all that stuff. It's all good skills to have. So even though it's not going to be something that I am pursuing as a job initially, like I'm not going to seek out being a single pilot IFR medical flight person or whatever. If I get the job doing that, it's sick, cool, you know, whatever, more power to me. But I enjoy the VFR aspects. And you best damn believe if I get a job as a IFR, whatever, single pilot helicopter, like medic flight. I will be doing everything in my power to purchase a personal, like Robinson R44 or something, so I can still go fly and fly like this. And fly in a manner to have fun outside of work. "81 nautical miles to our secondary destination here in beautiful Iceland. Bravo India, Bravo Alpha." I am not going to even attempt to pronounce whatever these places are. I will say it is nice here on Flight Sim 2024, the mechanical turbulences that will pull off of different landscapes and stuff like that. It is noticeable, and when you're doing like the flight training missions or licensing things or whatever, there's one of them where they're like, okay, cool, like fly along this valley, fly on this side of the mountain, so you can feel the updraft and the downdraft. You'll have to compensate for it with speed or pitch or whatever. And we're getting near-ish sunset. We're doing 160 knots over the ground, and at 80 miles left, we're 30 minutes to destination. So that puts us there, getting there near-ish sunset. We'll call that a good day. Kind of the downside to doing the around the world, which I definitely mentioned before. I try to fly it all lifetime live weather, or I do fly it all lifetime live weather. So time zones suck. We did do an all overnight flight once, but everything's more or less been me just adjusting my schedule to do it. Nah, Concrete Jungle is only New York into the island. Bit Island is generally suburbia, and out East End is more sprawling with some dirt bike tracks and trails. Oh, interesting. I know there is one video Casey Neistat did way back in the day when he took his Jeep or something off-roading. I think he went to like northern Long Island somewhere. Hell yeah, my boy Ryan's with me. We got power lines up here, that's nice. And a road. Cool, guess who's gonna fly along the road way too fast? Me. How fast is 150 knots miles per hour? It's got to be like, what, 164, 165, something like that? Power lines up here crossing. Throw a little bit of altitude back at it over the lines, which don't exist, but we'll still respect them as if they did. Also, I'm pretty sure it's not snowy here. It's just their satellite imagery is of snowy times. So that's what we're getting. But my friend was there about a month ago and it didn't look like this. More rock, less snow. And outside air temperature here is 11 degrees, so we're like 50. I believe that's 50 degrees-ish. That's the most traffic I've ever seen in this game. Another power line up here we will respect. Cut here because we guess what we are in a helicopter. We don't have to follow a road. We're not IFR. Which IFR is instrument flight rules, but the joke is IFR is I follow roads. Six, 7 miles until destination, traveling 150 knots. Cruising. Looks like another road probably, yeah. Just not populated by the game. Power lines up here, respecting the power lines. Look at that view. It'd be cool without the snow on the ground and actually seeing it as like a the rocky greenery stuff like Iceland is this time of year. But it just kind of got screwed because of the way the photogrammetry works. Oh, we're going vertical up this wall, Ryan. We're scud running the wall too. Throw another 20 knots in this or so. Let's get to it at 140. We're going to take the crevice. And dump the collective, push over a little bit. There we go. Perfect summit. Almost hard because the ground is so freaking white from the snow. I really couldn't tell where ground level was, but I'm sure we were within 20 feet of ground there. Don't know if I have a radar altimeter here. I'm sure I do. I just am not in the place to really look for it at the moment. Like I'm saying, I would be the best tour pilot. Really not even a tour pilot, just like a responsibly thrilling, like, amusement ride sort of pilot. It looks like we might be jumping to greenery over here, where there might have been like a different satellite view pass that gave us all this. Yes! There we go. That's what I want to see. This is the Greenland I want. I love the snow, but look at this. Little river right there, little river right there. It's all like glacial runoff, but the water's cold and crisp. Like I'll actually be able to see how high we are off the ground now because I'm not trying to differentiate a little bit of white here versus a slightly different white on a headset that doesn't show every single variation of color. Of course, it's not going to give us like perfectly beautiful photogrammetry either because we're northern longitudes or latitudes. Up, lower and push. And throw myself a little bit of altitude here. Oh, you're way back there. You stopped for something or paused or something. Either way, I'm up here. You can sim rate and catch up or something. Which also, by the way, there's a thing called sim rate where you can push a button and kind of like make time go forward by like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. We don't use sim rate here in the Around the World series. This is all done real time, real speed. So realistically, it should be relatively about the same time as somebody flying around the world for real. Yeah, work rank, yeah. It happens. Yeah, on my controller, I've got sim rate set up on my trim hat here. Which I'll use for other stuff or I'm bored or tired of stupid career mode missions while I'm trying to make a little money. I'll use sim rate. But in this series, no sim rate allowed. That'd be a waterfall right there. Very cool. Oh man, I'm gonna land over here. I want to check out the view this house would have. This is where you live when you don't like people. Or you love people enough that you want to give them some room away from you. Let's see, Shift C. Yeah. That's pretty sick. GTA 555. I feel like I've seen that tag before. I know a lot of times if I'm flying around, I'll see a helicopter flying. I'll make mental note or whatever. I feel like I've seen your tag somewhere. Okay, back up. I'll be slowly picking up pace, give you a little bit of time to work up. I'll keep my pace down around 100 or so until you're near. Still don't want to get outrun by the sunset, obviously, but... I wonder how much it would cost to rent a helicopter in Iceland, or if they'd even allow you. Like, there are helicopter tours I have looked out there, because I thought it'd be a neat job to have, but I don't know if you could just rent one and take it out for personal use, as long as you knew the rules of the sky. Yeah, I like the green Iceland. I'm a big fan of green Iceland. But it looks like our time in green Iceland will come to an end up here. Looks like we're back on another passive satellite view that showed a whole bunch of snow on the ground, so that's what it's giving us photogrammetry-wise. Sad. Sim just crashed? Ah, no worries. I'll lean back into her then. Probably too much epic Icelandic views for the computer to handle. I could run my stuff at higher settings. I'm just, for what I want out of it, or what I wanted out of it at first, being the, ooh, power lines out here in the middle of nowhere. Being that I wanted to be able to learn how to hover, it's like, cool, I don't need the world's strongest, like, rendering detail to learn how to hover. And I've lost, or not lost, I was just reading the comment. I've since stepped up my graphical settings a bit, just to get a better view out of it now. Since I've learned how to hover, I have a license now. I can go fly a real helicopter. But I still keep it relatively low settings comparatively, because I don't want to lose frames. I'm getting a little bit of jumping, jogging stuff right there, but it usually just happens when you're cruising fast over ground. It's like a cache issue, I think. But yeah, I'll be at the BIBA place in like 15 minutes, and then I'm calling it a day on the stream from there, because I've got to pee, I've got to eat, I've got things to do. Nope, another road over here. A road with a view, that's for sure. Oh, ST-Win 77. Good to see you back. Haven't seen that name in chat in a while. Yeah, we've been getting some rough storms here. The southeast United States has been very, very convective recently. Like, we lost power yesterday, some of the worst thunder I've heard in a long time. Had thunder here not too long ago. I said, shit, we may lose the stream. Weren't you out of country? I don't remember. It's hard to remember every single conversation, but I do remember you. Oh yeah, dude. Flying, like I've never flown in the Iceland area, so super nice flying out here, especially in the greener areas that you were just getting into. And it's always cool flying with homies too. I'll get with some friends on DCS every once in a while. We'll do Black Hawk mission stuff, and it's just like I'll fly alone hours. I've done it. I've hundreds of hours just flying alone. But it's also just fun to fly with other people. Catch you on the next stream, hopefully. Oh yeah, you've missed a lot. Some of them are worth watching, some of them aren't. Don't get too caught up on it. A couple of 100 hours worth of it. But yeah, to an extent, they all become the same stream at the end of the day. Like, I'm flying for a while. I get somewhere where I enjoy flying low and fast instead of just trying to cover the distance. We see some neat places. Then the other ones are kind of fun too, where I kind of yap about actually flying in real life and aerodynamics and physics and theory and whatever. But yeah, definitely look forward to seeing you on the next stream, or the next one that you can catch. And we'll definitely go over to Ireland and do some flying out there, that's for sure. Won't be for the Around the World series, but we'll do some Ireland flying eventually too. Sometimes if we have time after Around the World, we'll do a shenanigan session where we just kind of finish the Around the World portion and then just go fly somewhere. So, we'll see. We'll do some Ireland flying together. We'll let you pick an airport and some cool places and point us around. Play tour guide. Yeah, like you said, TV sucks. It's the entertainment. And wasn't it you, Valeska, saying that you never really understood watching streams until I was like, oh wait, I know Matt. So now I have like this bit of a personal relationship that you can have with the person who's here and talking and having conversation back and forth, etc. Yeah, we'll visit Ireland digitally. In real life, could happen too. We'll see. But we'll at least visit it digitally first, as it's costing basically no money to do that. Big ol' ice field here. That is for sure. I'm gaining altitude at like 500 feet per minute, and we're still staying like the same level off this. It's just such a gradual climb. We're 1,000 foot higher than when we started on this field. And I really don't want to look at the comments while I'm doing this because there's no like good visual height references. Because like, look how close the house is there. Like we're low, and like I said, I've been climbing at like 500 feet per minute. You thought of it like watching sports and stuff, watching other players versus doing it yourself. Yeah, exactly. With you, it's like a virtual heli ride. Fun pilot, so enjoy the company with you. Most of their helis are on, so I think I've got all their helis already. There's like that one ugly one that looks like a pickup truck that I don't have. Which, no offense against people who like. Actually, yes, offense. If you like that thing, whatever it's called, you deserve to be picked on. That is a goofy looking helicopter. I did not buy that one, not worth my money, but I think I already own everything that they have. I basically got all the helicopters in the game that are worth anything. Like, there's a few, like the MS scenery and that crap, and I don't have any of that, but any of the quality ones, I pretty much have all of them. And my thought process with that was like, cool, if I'm just flying the R22 and learning how to fly it, maybe it's a good model, but maybe it does something else wrong. But another model would do that particular thing right. So I flew mostly the R22 before I got my license. But I would fly other stuff as well. Just that way, in case one thing did something better than the other ones, I would have that bit of experience with what it would do better. If that makes sense. Very yellowing, which means we are getting near that sunset. I think we're 25 miles away. 10 minutes if we keep leaned into it. Little bit of instrument stuff right there. I'll keep on line here. If we have to fly through it, we gotta fly through it. I don't make the rules, I just come up with them. But yeah, I definitely, for anybody watching now that did not see the beginning of the stream, I would definitely go back to the beginning and look at the conditions we took off in. It was not friendly. Okay, it looked IFR, but we're good. I can see the full mountain. Yeah, we took off in some very, very suboptimal conditions. Conditions where we should have stayed on the ground if this is real life. But we're in the zero repercussion machine. If it went bad, I just would have deleted the video. So. "21 miles away, 8 minutes till final destination." Not to be confused with the movie Final Destination, just Final Destination. We'll chase this little saddle on the right side of the summit up here, which looks to be like where we're going anyways. Yeah, takeoff conditions today were like less than 1 mile visibility. It was disgustingly bad. I will say, this helicopter just doesn't feel like it's ever in trim. Like, I'm watching the ball right there. Is there a dog around me or something right now? No, it's just the cable hanging.
Like, usually you kick the ball. So I've got full right pedal right now, and the ball's still not centered. And really not centered any more than I am centered pedals. Maybe a little bit. Okay, Biba Airport should be in sight here in a second. Or inside enough to say, like, yeah, it's inside, I just don't know where. Somewhere down here. What a nice sunset in the trip. Ace Driver, haven't seen you here in a minute, dude. What's going on? You made it just at the end. We're finishing up in Iceland. Like 4 minutes from landing. When did you fly? Didn't you fly in Japan with me? Because I'm pretty sure you've flown in the sim with me at some point. Was it Japan? Or was it somewhere else? I feel like you flew in Japan. There was somebody who flew in Japan with me. I think it was you. Yeah, and the timing thing, I see you said, oh bummer, the timing thing's kind of all about, like, I fly live time, live weather for all this stuff. So I have to do it that's appropriate with whatever time zone we're flying in. Yeah, I know you've flown with me before, I don't remember. It was somewhere. We could go back. Let's see. Let's see what I can see. Channel activity. Yeah. Pretty sure it's Japan. Yeah, well, I'm about to land at Bravo India Bravo Alpha, but once I land, I'm logging off because we did a over the ocean thing from the Faroe Islands up here to Iceland. Now just try to get like halfway across Iceland. So I'm not doing a whole bunch of Iceland on the next stream. I want to make it to Greenland next stream, and I don't want to make it too long. So I figured if I had the ability to do an extra hour tonight, or today, it's 4 o'clock, I would do that extra hour. Okay, pretty sure I have the airport inside up there across the river. Or maybe I'm just stupid, maybe it's not. No, it is. Ooh, pretty aggressive cliff there, okay. There's an airport on that island as well, but nah. Yet. We'll hang a little left to give us at least a runway run. that just like, oh, weird altitude or elevation things with the water? I was wondering what that was. Iceland Airport number 2, helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey, 1 mile final, runway 227? Maybe 28? Oh, runway 30. Wow. Oh, there might be magnetic variation as well that they're clocking for. Little tailwind, no big deal. Not much. Not much for me to care. That controller's not working. Oh, that's right. I'm in the Cowan someone. I don't need that. Get that off. Maybe the battery in my controllers. We can go ahead and fuel valve off. We're good on that. I can turn the rotor brake. Okay, so the rotor brake's not working for me for some reason. Whatever. Not my problem. Helicopter's turned off. Okay, everybody, thank you for riding along, for flying a helicopter around the world. We are now in Iceland. Next episode, we will be making our way to Greenland, one way or the other. So I can get my controller working here. Also, horrible battery compartment designed by this meta. Out of all the things that you could have done better, you could have made it like actually possible to get batteries to come in here. There we go. Or you could just hover that around. Weird. Anyways. Center that up. What are you doing? Yeah, you should be able to catch me on the next one. Shouldn't be that bad. Expect around this time. Well, like 2 hours before what this time is, whatever time it is now for you. We're here at Biba Baki Airport. Says departure. So yeah, we could make it there, but what we'll do, we'll head over here and top off with fuel at one of the West Coast airports. And that puts us well within striking distance of here. So it'll be a bounce from here to here, which is about what we did there. Maybe a little bit further, so about an hour up here. We'll be in a faster helicopter. Then it'll have about an hour or so over here. And that'll put us down at Galushnuk, whatever. I'm just curious what that looks like departure-wise. Yeah, that could put us all the way over here. I just don't know what this looks like. How boring would it be to fly over just flat white? So part of me wants to coast it and do like a day down the coast and then boom, boom is one. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. We will see